What's up, guys? It's your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, Ben 10,000 YGO, and today, guys, we're getting cybernetic once again. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of money to do it. Like I was saying, guys, today is going to be a very different video. We're going to be doing a budget Cyber Dragon deck because I got a few naysayers on my top 5 budget decks for the format. And they were all saying that Cyber Dragons were not a budget deck. And I was all like, not a budget deck, eh? Well, and now it's time for me to double check my homework. So, not only did I build a Cyber Dragon budget deck, but I also did my homework to figure out what kind of Cyber Dragon deck, budget deck that would entail. So, I went through like various deck profiles to determine if I was going to play Cyber Dragons competitively and on a budget. Here's how would I do so, and here's the deck that I came up with. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna play some replays, show you the deck in action, and then we're going to hightail it to the deck profile and my homework summary, I guess, where I prove to you guys that the deck is indeed cheap. Oh, if you're new here, this is kind of how we do things. We talk, replays, we talk again, only this time with a deck profile. I will make sure that at some point, when the video goes up, I will put on a pinned comment below, so you guys can just skip to the deck profile, if you choose to do so. So without further ado, let's get into those replays. See you guys on the other side. Alright, and there you have it, guys. This is my budget Cyber Dragon deck, and, hold on, let me get my homework. Like I was saying, guys, had to get my cheat sheet here. I did some pricing out, in case you can't tell. Let me just put that in front of you here. So, yeah, there is, I did some pricing for all the cards you will need to build this deck. The point of this deck is to go a little more graveyard oriented, so we're playing the Machina Fortress and the Card Troopers. You know, there are other target for machine duplication, as well as, you know, we got the Cyber Dragon core. And this deck is kind of my proof that Cyber Dragons can be budget. And this is kind of the deck I had in mind when I put it on my top 5 budget decks for the format, because the truth is, this is your key monster right here, the Mega Fleet. This is how you will out the boards that you'll be up against. The truth is, there are a lot of, I want to say, like, link heavy decks out there, so the Mega Fleet is your out. You will play the Mega Fleet to out the meta decks, for the most part. Although the meta is changing, so by the time 2019 rolls around, this may not be of the budget deck to go for, but for the time being, this is fine. We got the Pankatrops here, who is basically you know, it's basically a Twin Twisters with legs. Essentially what happens is, with Pankatrops, your idea here is you're mostly to use it like an MST, or you can punch something and then blow something else up. So it's still, you know, I mean, it gets rid of the same number of cards. We got Machina Fortress here. If the opponent targets it, they're going to lose a card in their hand, so they don't want to target it. And if they destroy it in battle, they don't want to do that either. It's destroyed in battle, you target a card on the opponent's side of the field and destroy it. So they don't want to target it, they don't want to destroy it. And the idea is this and this is what you want in the graveyard with Card Trooper, so that's why we're playing it. We also can put Dreys in there. The point is, because we're playing the budget version, we have to rely on this search card more than anything, Cyber Repair Plan. In order to get Cyber Repair Plan to go off, we need a Cyber Dragon in the graveyard. Now, luckily for us, we have 10. We have Regular, Drey, Core, and Veer. We have 1 copy of Veer. You can play more copies. It's a cheap card if you wish. I'm just playing for my version of the deck. And then, of course, we have, we mostly just play with what the deck. Usually we're playing with what the main thing that you will buy to build this deck. We start with that as our, base, and then we went from there. So a few things are a little different. Like, for example, you probably noticed, like, we are playing the Cyber Shadow Gardna. This is mostly just a defensive card. It's also something that we can search off of Overflow and Chimera, or not Chimera, Cyber Dragon Core. We're playing the limiter removal so we can double our stuff. I mean, we're very much an OTK going second deck. That's pretty much how all Cyber Dragons work. They want to go second more than they want to go first. Some can get around it, some of them can't. It's late when I'm recording this, so I'm very tired. We got Symbol of Heritage because we're playing Cyber Dragon. It's super easy to get 3 Cyber Dragons in the graveyard so we can bring 1 back. Also, because we manipulate the cards in the graveyard with Overload Fusion and Cybernetic Overflow, because, you know, we can banish Cyber Dragons from the grave. Oh, we can also do this with Eltanin. Because we can manipulate that, we can also make it to where it's easier to get 3. So Symbol of Heritage is only dead if you draw it in your, like, opening hand. Card Destruction serves a similar purpose as Card Trooper and Machina Fortress, which is to put Cyber Dragons in the graveyard, so our Rhoda will go off. And it has the added bonus that can also be used to put our Rise to Full Height in this. And then, of course, what you're going to notice about this budget variant is all the stuff that you will buy extra, except for what's in the extra deck. For the main deck, you'll buy it common. You'll be buying it common. This way, you can make sure that you get what you paid. You know, you can get the deck, and you don't have to, you know, spend a huge amount of money building this deck. So, This is what I came up with, and as you can see, here's like the cards you'll need. You'll need Genius, which is a rare. You'll need, Deco Talker, which is from a structure deck or a starter deck. Easy to get. You'll need another Nova. You'll need a Panzer Dragon, and you'll need another Mega Fleet. But the rest of this will come with the core thing you're going to purchase. And the core thing you're going to purchase is either the Legendary Dragon decks, which is going to cost you about $30, or you can buy the individual deck somewhere between $14 to $20 on, on a TCG Player, eBay, or Troll and Toad. There's, that's the price range you're going to pay for the sealed Cyber Dragon deck from that. So I did my homework and priced out all the cards that you would pay for. Basically, and I did common variants because they're the cheapest. And I'm going to flash it on the screen here. The lowest that you will pay for this Cyber Dragon deck is $32.66 and $58.60, and that's to $58.60. That's the price range. So the good news is that you don't have to. You actually spend less than what I initially thought out. But the cool thing is you still spend less than $70, and if you don't know this, a budget deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, for the most part, or widely understood that it is classified as any deck that you spend less than $100 to create. So we play the bare minimum of hand traps, we play the bare minimum, and we play the cheapest ones, and that are also effective to a point. And we also don't rely on things like Twin Twister. We have Overflow, which is basically, and Pankatops, which is our Twin Twister. And we rely on getting stuff in the graveyard. We're going second deck, and that's just the way this deck plays. And its ability to, fuse or contact fuse with other machine decks or other, or extra deck based decks is the key here to victory for this deck. So, and of course, if you're thinking about building this, the first thing I would suggest to you is look and see what you have out of your collection. You might have cards that you see here on the screen, or you might even have cards that are better, depending on what you have. Always look there first, then before you buy. Now, after you've made your purchase, here's a few other ways you can save. If you had to buy the Legendary Dragon structure decks, well, you have a Dark Magician deck and a Pendulum deck right there. You can, take those cards and trade them for some of the cards you need here. So that's another way to kind of, maximize your, maximize your budget, so to speak. You're like, because, if you, I'll put it this way, any bit trading a card is basically better than, having to spend actual cash for it. So that's you're just going to get it better. You're going to trade, and it's a lot easier to trade cheaper than it is to buy cheaper. So I recommend buying the Legendary Dragon box, and then from there, you take the other two decks, and then you can even take some of the cards from those. I think there's a few. It's been a while since I've reviewed those cards, but there's a few cards from both of those that you can take to get you some of the staples you'll need for the main core. But yeah, that's the thing though. It's this deck actually, and I believe this kind of proves my point that Cyber Dragons are indeed a budget deck. You do not have to pay an ungodly amount to play them. In fact, the last replays that you'll see here was basically full power Cyber Dragons versus my budget, and I won. And that guy was not happy about it. He let me know pretty quick that he did not like what I was doing. He called my Rise to Full Height a cheap trick in one of the games we played. He said that I won with a cheap strategy. It's neither here nor there. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. This should convince you that you don't need to necessarily buy the most expensive stuff to build a Cyber Dragon deck. There is a cheap way to go about it, and the answer is commons. Commons are the exact same thing as the foil. You don't have to spend a lot of money to build this deck, and I just there's my proof. Mostly I would suggest you buy on TCG Player. They have the best prices overall, to if you wanna build this and spend maybe around $50 at most. And then of course, like I said, trade the cards you don't want for the cards you do want. It's kind of handy. I know that's a dorky piece of advice. Anyway, guys, if you like this deck profile, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know you enjoyed it somehow. I know you guys are probably sick of seeing Cyber Dragons, but I felt compelled to make up my point to the naysayers of that video that this is indeed a budget deck. So yeah. Anyway, guys, if you got any budget options that you think that can make this deck better, leave it in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you guys got. And oh, also I'm still in a race with YGO Pro. I swear I'm gonna speak English at some point. And he's still kicking my butt. YouTube did a little purge, so my subscriber count has been just fluctuating the past few days, and I'm hoping that it's all over by the time you guys see this video, and I will have, and maybe I'll catch up to him. I'm lagging behind, and he might win this race to 500. But if you guys subscribe to me, I win. So do me a favor, subscribe to me. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.